Hello, David Moore with IRA Advantage, IRAadvantage.com or .net. And today we're going to talk about how to get started with a self-directed IRA. If you've seen our other videos, you've probably seen and heard that there's no legal definition of a self-directed IRA. It's just merely a term that describes an account that allows you to do what you want to do. And in the most basic sense, we could finish this video in 30 seconds by saying, hey, move your money from a custodian that won't allow you to do what you want to one that does. And that's really what you're doing. We don't pull money out of an account. You don't pull your money out of, actually, I shouldn't say not out of an account. We don't pull money out of your IRA to go buy real estate. We're just going to shift that custodian. Once again, any limitation you might have today is not by law, it's by that custodian's policies and what they're going to allow you to do. So if we're looking at buying real estate, we're going to have a custodian that's going to allow you to do that stuff. If we're talking about a 401k plan, for example, we're going to look at the plan. Does the plan allow you to do what you want? If it doesn't, can we amend the plan to allow it to be done? If we can't amend the plan, can we replace the plan? So you're always just looking at the situation where you are today, what you want to do. Does it allow you to make the investments you want to make? And if it doesn't, we're going to change. IRAs, we change the custodian. 401k plans, we change the plan. So if we're looking at a self-directed IRA, in most basic form, a self-directed IRA, we're just moving money, and it's not all or nothing once again, and there's many reasons. If you're doing an IRA, for example, it's really important, I would say, keep the money you want to keep in Wall Street with your current advisor or the current custodian, and move what you want to use to the self-directed world. Just move that amount, because the thing is, if you've got a Wall Street IRA, you could make a poor investment, but you really don't have the ability to commit a prohibited transaction. If you've got a truly self-directed IRA, you do. And it's important to understand that you committing a prohibited transaction with an IRA constitutes full distribution of the account's funds as of the first day in the year in which the indiscretion occurs. So really, we want to isolate things. If you got Wall Street stuff, keep it where it is. If you want to take the self-directed and go out, buy real estate, notes, loans, whatever you want to do there, we'll move that money. Therefore, you've got isolation. It's just diversification. It's protection. And any advisor is going to tell you to diversify is a good thing. And since we're talking about advisors, I just want to clarify, we don't sell investments at IRA Advantage. We don't give investment advice. We merely provide the investment vehicle to allow you to go buy what you want to buy. So if you told me, I just want to go out and buy a passive investment, not time sensitive, we're going to do a basic self-directed IRA for you. And as I said, that entails moving what you want to use from custodian A that won't allow you to do what you want to custodian B that does. All right. And you need to understand there's a variety of different self-directed custodians out there. Each of them have different requirements, what they want to do, different ways to charge you. And it's really important to understand how those things work with what you want to do. So basic self-directed IRA, moving funds from custodian A to custodian B to make an investment. You submit the investment to the custodian. Upon their approval, they're going to make the investment for you. And the owner of that investment is going to be the custodian. Typically, it's going to read something along the custodian, CFBO, custodian for benefit of, IRA number, whatever it might be, and that's going to be your IRA number. And to make that investment, as I said, you're typically going to submit an investment authorization form, probably some type of prohibited transaction form. And then there's going to be requirements for each specific type of investment they're going to want to see. If, on the other hand, you do lots of investments or you want time-sensitive investments, we're going to do a checkbook IRA for you. So checkbook IRA just means we're sticking an IRA-specific limited liability company between the custodian and the ultimate investment. That's it. Now, I'm going to tell you, don't just go out and put an LLC together, because the custodian's not going to take it. And if you're working with a lawyer that hasn't done this stuff, if they haven't done it, you're going to be paying them to learn. So make sure whoever's putting that limited liability company together for you understands what it takes, understands what's going to be involved with doing this, and you're not going to get this done, for some nominal fee. It's typically going to cost, a fair bit more than a normal limited liability company. But the people that are going to do these things are going to provide you lots of information, and they're going to help you both create it and keep it going through time. So the custodians will not do this for you. They might have names that they're going to provide for you. But when we look at this transaction, what happens is if you have a checkbook IRA, we're going to still, no matter what, we have to have that basic custodial account. But instead of submitting every investment to the custodian, a checkbook IRA allows you to make the custodian to make one investment. The investment they make is in the membership interest of this limited liability company. And we can have all different structures, all different members, both disqualified parties and non-disqualified parties as common members. So keep in mind when we look at what you can and can't do with an IRA, 2 factors. What are you going to buy unless it's specifically prohibited, it's therefore allowed? 2, who are you transacting between or for the benefit of? That's where we have problems. Now, transacting between or for the benefit of a disqualified party would constitute a prohibited transaction. Transacting along with a disqualified party does not. So we've got to look at what's happening, and once again, we're going to look at where you are today, where you want to be in 2, 5, 10 years, and we're going to help you get there. But when we create that limited liability company, depending on the membership, we're going to look at this situation differently. If it's one account alone, great. If it's, let's say you have traditional and Roth money, now we've got a multi-member limited liability company. Those 2 accounts can be combined as common members of a single LLC, but now you've got an LLC with 2 disqualified parties as members. Therefore, we can't have additional investments in the limited liability company in the future. So if you said, hey, I need $100,000 for this project, and you run into something, you only put 100 in there, and now you run into some problem, you don't have the ability to get money from either one of those sources into that. So I'm going to tell you to overfund that limited liability company in that situation. But when that custodian makes the investment in the LLC, typically our client's going to be the manager of the limited liability company. The limited liability company is going to have a bank account in the LLC's name and EIN with the client as the manager. It's a manager-managed limited liability company. They're going to open the bank account. The investment the custodian makes is in the membership interest in the LLC, which funds the bank account. How do you make an investment? Well, negotiate that investment purchase in the LLC's name. The transaction is just going to be between the seller and that limited liability company. And if we're talking about a real estate deal, you're just going to write the purchase sale agreement between the seller and the limited liability company. The taxpayer is manager, going to sign a note for the earnest money, or sign a note, sign cash, write a check, whatever. You're going to open escrow as you normally would, buy the property. If you're buying notes, you just have that thing written up between the borrower and the limited liability company. It's a beautiful process. It works very well for people that want to go out and make time-sensitive investments, do things that are timely or management, that require some management. A self-directed or solo 401k is going to work the same way. We're going to have a plan. The plan's got its own EIN. It's going to have a bank account in the plan's name and EIN. The plan owner is typically the trustee of the plan. As trustee, they're going to be signer on the bank account. You make that investment. It's just going to be in the plan's name. And you write a check out of that account. Any investment yield goes into it. Now, the thing I want to say, no matter we're talking checkbook IRAs or solo 401ks, I had a client today send an email to me asking about they were going to go build something out, and they said, well, these charges are coming in. Who needs to write the check? Well, look at it this way. Whether we're talking a 401k plan or a checkbook IRA, either case, those are not you. Treat it like it's Mary down the street, okay? It's somebody else, it's something else, it's not yours. So any expense that's incurred has to be that LLC's or has to be that 401k plan's. Any income is not yours, it's the plan's or the LLC. And that's the best thing that I can, best piece of advice I can give you. And that's why when we put a checkbook IRA together for somebody, we really don't want to see their name on the name of the limited liability company. I wanted something unique. I wanted something where anytime the investor goes to make an investment with that account, it is clear. Anytime they pull out a check, they understand this thing is not them, it is the retirement account, whether it's a 401k or an IRA, checkbook IRA. I hope this has been helpful, and I look forward to any questions or concerns you may have. Once again, David Moore with IRA Advantage, iraadvantage.net or .com. Thank you for your time.